Hey, so we are here just south of Yuma, Arizona, near San Luis, and I'll sort of show you around and see. We'll flip it this way, see what we find. See, the sun is setting right here beyond the border fence wall. We have been kind of walking for the last hour and driving around this section of the wall, kind of talking to people, seeing what the story is here. They call this the zigzag area, and there's an article in the San Diego Tribune which details near San Luis this section of the wall and the breaches here. Now, it's been a very interesting story that was different than one that I expected. If you watch cable news or read headlines, the border becomes this, ping pong match of politics and strange anecdotes and what have you. But it's a lot of space. It's very tranquil. And this section of the wall fence structure actually ends about 3 or 4 miles down there. It just ends. And so you can go around it. And that may have to do a lot with the current sort of limbo state of the project itself. We've been talking to people who live here in Yuma and the greater Yuma area and then commute down to either San Luis, which is in the south, or if you go to the Andrade crossing to the north, back up that way, the crossing there closes actually at 2 p.m. And that started with COVID. The hours were curbed, and that affects the border town on the other side. It's a little town called Los Algodones. And the interesting thing about this town is when you walk in, the first thing you see is dozens of dentist offices and optometrists and pharmacies and street promoters, shall we say, barkers that call you in to patronize the businesses, be they optometrists, pharmacies, or dentist office. There's just every block there's at least 5 or 6 dentist offices at least. It's that's Los Algodones, and we've been staying. I teamed up with another live streamer from the Pacific Northwest, CJTV Media, and he's down the ways a little bit. But he and I teamed up, and we decided to come here from LA and sort of see what the story is, see for our own eyes what it's like to be at the border and crossing back and forth. So we were in Mexico this morning. We're checking out the wall fence today, just various sections of it, and I'll post some more video of that. And then tomorrow, our plan is to go back into town and go to the bus depot on the other side, San Luis, and check out the situation there. But as I said, to the north there at the Andrade crossing, everything shuts down by 2 p.m. So, and you got to make that 2 p.m. exit, or else you're more or less stuck. And our Airbnb host, her family has a dental practice on the other side of the border. Whenever we talk about border crossings, a lot of times people are thinking about south going north, but there's so many people who are north who are going south to work. And her family business is there, a dental practice that's been located there, a legacy family business that's been on the other side in Los Algodones. And so they cross over there in the morning. We went over at the same time, and then we came back with them through the crossing. And she had somebody with the car waiting an hour and a half beforehand in the queue, so that when the car was close enough, and it was the kid's nanny who was in the car, when the car was close enough, then from the dental practice, they hopped in to get across the border at 2 p.m. So I just thought that was an interesting anecdote, because we all a lot of times think of the economic current from south to north, but there are lots of folks that go from north to south. People would come into Los Algodones just to get their teeth done, to get crowns or veneers or what have you. And so it was interesting to be there and see so many American tourists, if you will, who are there on a dental vacation to go have dental work or fill prescriptions or whatnot. So so that was something that I did not expect. Our host gave us a very, you can't, we could have stayed at a motel, but you can't replace local knowledge and being with people who live and I've always loved traveling that way, where you go and and whether you're traveling internationally, it's one thing to be in a resort and taking pictures of yourself. It's another to be actually mixing it up and to be going around, staying with a family, a local family. You can see my car is parked. We took this county road. This is County Road 21, I think, that we're on now. It's just a dirt road that extends through these fields all the way back to the main highway right there. So you can see my lone car sitting there in the field. What's interesting, and we've been, researching this, and we had a very long conversation, about a half-hour conversation with a Border Patrol agent last night when we were at the San Luis border. And he came up to us and he just talked to us. He was being very candid because he said he was a year away from retirement or so. So he answered a lot of our questions about the situation, sort of gave his assessment about how things change from administration to administration. So that was interesting. And then we listened to a podcast of a former Border Patrol, I guess, deputy supervisor of some sort, who was discussing what this is more than just a wall or a fence. Something that I never thought of. If you ever worked on raw land, and if you've ever been there on raw land trying to get from one area to the next, it's one thing if it's just field, that's easy. That's all been tilled and not broken down, and there's a county road there. So it's easy for me to walk back to my car. But if you're on the other side of this fence wall, and it's just raw land, and you're dealing with running into bushes and falling down hillsides, and it's not landscaped in any way, it's just raw, then you have the whole other matter of access. And so when they talk about the heat, it's relatively cool right now. It's like in the high 90s with the sun going down, but it was 100, 110, and it gets even hotter as the summer months come on. You get the sense that part of when people do get through, the stories that we've been told, is that people do go straight to the border patrol for if they need water or shelter or what have you. So we've been learning about that, and just the change of policy. And the words of the Border Patrol officer that we spoke to last night was that they, in his words, he said, we process them. They're only here for two days, maybe three, and then we, quote, send them down the road, meaning that the policy of catch and release is very much in effect when it comes to folks crossing over the border right now. That's how he portrayed it to us. Again, that's just the first person that we talked to, and he was this border agent who wasn't supposed to talk to us, but we had a very interesting conversation. With no terms. We didn't say it was off the record or anything. So we got that perspective. But the point that was made, that along this sort of fence, which, as I said, it just ends about 3 miles down. It just ends, and you can just walk all the way around this thing if you had the time. The thing that I never thought of was the infrastructure. In other words, the technology in order to reach somebody and assist them if they are, um, if they are dehydrated or hypothermia or any struggling against the elements. There is the ability, because of this continuous fence. It's not just a fence; it's the roads and it's the landscaped area around it to get back and forth. So that was the point that Border Patrol made. Now you can see in the distance there I see headlights coming this way, so that could be a Border Patrol agent. What's remarkable is each time that we've done these little stops here, this is like the third or fourth one we've done, Border Patrol agent has been here within like 3 or 4 minutes to just sort of scope us out. I think at this point they know who we are because we got here last night, and they saw us walking around and we talked to them. So I think we're on their radar, so to speak, which is kind of interesting. And so we haven't had much issue at all. People haven't really spoken to us much today. After last night, I think our presence was known. But as I said headlights. I see headlights there in the distance. So this will be interesting to see if it's a Border Patrol truck that's rolling up. They patrol this county road right here. Oh, there's a big fish that just jumped in the canal there. They patrol this road here. I think it's called Sility Canal Road. And you can see there's my car parked right there. Nice sunset. I'll say that much. But the Border Patrol trucks, you see them go by here patrolling this area. If you guys have any questions, we're going to be down here for 2 more days. As I said, we're going through San Luis tomorrow and crossing back over to Mexico. Today, in my earlier live shot, if you tuned in, what we saw was just basically the commerce of a border town on the other side, which was very much connected to tourists from the north crossing over to get dental work done in Los Algodones and the optometrists and pharmacies that are on the other side. So we kind of got a real sense of the symbiotic relationship between the two border towns and the cross-border commerce that is so important to the livelihoods of families, whether it's to the south or the north. Because as I said, my host family staying to the north crosses over to the south. The woman, her sister, actually decided to live on the Mexico side of the border, and the family, which is of course bilingual and has had this dentistry practice south of the border, it's a huge part of their life, the regular commute. That's their daily commute to Mexico. So I found that really interesting. It is quiet, I'll say that. Those headlights disappeared along down the road where I thought we were going to see someone, but doesn't seem to be anyone here. That's CJTV Media. If you guys have heard of CJ, that's CJTV Media down there, who is my traveling buddy for this trip. He and I have met up at different protest actions as we covered the civil unrest for the last year. Now we decided to move on and look at other stories, and we thought this would be an interesting one to tackle because you see so much of the border being used politically by talking heads on cable television, and that all, of course, goes that trickles down to our dear politicians, who I understand the vice president had something to say about the border in the last 48 hours. So a lot of people are kind of all eyes point that way. So south of the border for dental work for people without insurance, yes, I would say so. I mean, the dental work, it's interesting because the business that our host family has south of the border, they're actually certified by the American Dental Association. They actually brag about that they're the only ones in Los Algodones who are certified by the American dental overseers. I'm not sure which association it is. I'll have to look. I took a picture earlier, but we met some senior citizens, some older folks who had come all the way down from Pacific Northwest and Denver, and they were in RVs, like in an RV area near here, and they were having dental work done. Another younger pair were from Lake Havasu area, and she had had her veneers worked on, I guess, since she was a teenager. She had the tops and then she had the bottoms completed today. So there were a lot of people coming in for major oral reconstructive surgery when it comes to veneers or all that stuff, root canal, you name it, and they come down because it's worth it to save a couple $1,000s, I guess, if you don't have dental insurance and you have to deal with some sort of major procedure like that. So anyways, it is quiet down here. I wish I had more to report, but that's pretty much going to be it. Here at the we'll see the wall there behind me. Yeah, it is quiet, and there's it is vast. That's the one thing that makes the story, once you're here in person, a little bit more understandable, is just how it puts it into perspective, just how vast everything is in this area around the border. So canals too, they stretch and wind around along with the wall area. The one point that I made in the last broadcast that The one thing that I think that it's important to sort of stress, and in one, um, the sister of my host family, she said that there are lots of people who come from Mexico to work in the United States, and they come seasonally to work in on farms and so forth, and they want to go back to Mexico. They want to be there in do the farm work, and then they want to go back home. They're not looking necessarily to leave their home countries. So programs like that, I from what one podcast we listened to with a retired Border Patrol supervisor and officer said that those programs were a little bit more robust in the 80s, where people would come in as migrants for short-term labor. And he said the advantage of that, and why actually that should be, expanded. And you got the sense, and I don't know if this is just bias or so, but you get the sense that with Border Patrol agents that they lean conservative, and he was very much an advocate for these types of programs that allow seasonal work and are have a more robust structure and system. And the reason, he said, is that would free up resources to then put towards, I guess, monitoring and the flow of the more illicit activities. So if you have people who are taking advantage of people's desperation, if there are people that are taking advantage of those who would do anything really to get across the border, it becomes more important to monitor the illicit or criminal or organized crime activities. And those resources, in his opinion, those types of people, resources should be dedicated towards them, not towards trying to consistently, I guess, monitor those who are trying to come over and work. So that was an interesting perspective, I guess. So it is very quiet here. It's, so it was just interesting to sum up, to hear somebody who was working in the area of enforcement to say that most of what, and a lot of the, I was mentioning a San Diego Tribune article about San Luis, which sort of describes Border Patrol duties now as processing, and they said they process people in 1 or 2 days and they send them on their way. And it was interesting to hear a Border Patrol agent advocate for allow the people who work because of the economic relationship between those who would not only go from south to north, but there are those who go from north to south as well. Um, he said because of that relationship, a better system in place would then allow enforcement to be focused on organized crime and the more exploitive elements that would take advantage of this situation. So, if that makes sense, I'm going to end this pretty soon. Let's see, any questions here? What is the goal of visiting the border wall? Or is it just a backdrop for the current situation? Yeah, I didn't really have a goal per se. Whoa, there's a funny little fish. except to just see it for myself and talk to people who are in enforcement, talk to people who live here, talk to people who commute north to south and those who go south to north, and get a more human perspective. Because what I've learned more than anything over the last year is that people use news for their own political advantage. They exploit division. Certainly a border is a divisive issue. The wall itself was controversial and divisive. And people use that to their political advantage. So when it comes to parsing what the real situation is, if you plugged into right wing media, you'd think that there were cartels just running every which way the second we showed up. You plug into the opposite, you get a very different perspective. So the question then becomes, well, what's the truth? What's the reality? And as you can see just standing around the vastness here, that it becomes a very different thing when you're here, and we were in Mexico this morning. We'll go to Mexico again tomorrow. And then we're going to stay one more day and kind of see who else we can talk to. But the point was to talk to people and get different perspectives, I guess, if you ask, and we thought, CJTV Media, who's down there doing his live stream, he's a dude that I ran into in DC. I ran into in Southern California covering different protests. And we had the same kind of political mindset, in the sense that we're more interested in getting the human story, talking to people, getting other people's truths, and not necessarily spinning it or using it for any kind of left wing or right wing political move. And that's what we did this last year. And I think when you do that, you're under fire from both the right and the left, is what I discovered in covering the civil unrest from what I witnessed on May 31st down in Santa Monica, California, when I saw Santa Monica get ransacked. And then I followed unrest, the stories, whether they were coming from the right or the left, all the way to the U.S. Capitol. And it's a very different perspective, is what it was. A sort of profound year for me, as someone who's worked in journalism since 2003, to realize that a lot of what I accepted from cable news, or to be just accepted truths that were agreed upon in my preferred media sources, were not necessarily well informed. They were perspectives that were not necessarily derived from firsthand experience. You can tell when you read an article if someone's been there. And unfortunately, the articles that are written by people who set foot in the space that they're writing about are few and far between nowadays. And I always accepted that our media institutions were going to look out for our best interests. And in the last year, I saw a breakdown of that. So why choose the borders, the next story, the next point of interest? There wasn't any. It was, first of all, it was close. I mean, this is a national story that will no doubt be resurrected in the next election, just 2 years, 2.5 years away or whenever. And so this will come up again. And I've been down here before. I went down, I want to say close to a decade ago. I went down when there were Minutemen groups that were assembling on the border. And one of them let me ride along with them. And boy, I'd have to dig up some old digital videotapes or something of what that looked like. But, when I started my journalism career, I started in West Virginia, which is a red state, and so I think the through line for me has been, even though I come from Northern California, about as culturally as left as possible, the through line in my journalism career since 2003, going to West Virginia, the other time that I went to the border and interviewed Minutemen folks and stuff like that were doing lookouts, and there was a lot of the people I interviewed weren't, people playing militia or sniper or anything like that. They were people who were trying to be an extra set of eyes. This was 10 years ago. I remember them saying that they're just there to be extra eyes, and they were kind of monitoring the border that way because they believed there was a border crisis. I'm not even sure if that term border crisis applies. I would have to look into it deeper. I don't know. Um, Certainly, I go back and forth in my own opinion. When I went down to Tijuana in 2000, and I want to say it was 2015, uh, Trump wasn't even the Republican nominee. And I did a video, for those of you who might have seen it, I did a video called Donald Trump in Tijuana. And it did well. It got like 1.5 million views. And I went down as Trump in Tijuana. When I drove down there, my cameraman didn't have a passport. I had a passport to come back. He did not. And it was just sort of under the Obama administration at that time, you could use your driver's license to move back and forth. And I was very surprised by that. Well, now that's back in under Biden because somebody who I saw today, I won't go into details, but got back in with their driver's license without having a passport. I'm assuming that was not the case under the Trump administration. So, a more porous, or the right wing might call it a porous border, and folks on the left might say that it's more conducive to the economic interests of those who would cross to work between these two border towns freely and so forth. So. That certainly is the difference in policy that I've noticed, is being able to use your driver's license to just move freely. According to the border agent that we spoke to last night, he did create a very different picture, administration to administration, by saying that under the current administration, it is a send them down the road policy where people are detained. If they're families, if they are people who are here to work, that they're detained for only 2 or 3 days, and then, as he said, they are sent on their way. So that is a very different image than I imagine what it was like. I wasn't here under the Trump administration to check it out, but the Border Patrol agents seem to feel that is not the best policy, though it, again, nothing's cut and dry, I would say, from what I've noticed, that the consensus seems to be, if you can dedicate resources towards programs in which migrant workers can pass freely, and then if that program and structure is set up, then you can dedicate enforcement resources towards the more illicit elements, whether it be, I just heard someone coughing on the other side. So he's asking, so CJ's, hola. Eu falo pouco português. De onde é você? De onde é você? Brasil? Oh, Brasil. So there's that's interesting. There's some Brazilians on the other side of the wall right there that we're talking to. Quanto tempo está viajando? What? Yeah. Quantos dias está viajando? 3 dias? Okay. Yeah, I just asked that. He said 3 days.
3 days?
Yeah.
Can you ask him, are you okay?
Tudo bem? Tudo bem? I don't think they want to talk. I honestly think if they're speaking Portuguese to us, then they've come from Brazil, then
Yeah.
they might be looking across right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think they want to really get into it. But they
Yeah.
said they've been talking for 3 days.
Yeah. So these guys we just saw. So these folks right here that we just saw, they've been traveling. Like I said, that's why it's beautiful that I was able to team up with Jeremy right here. And give him a tag for your feed.
Oh, well, I Unblocked Live is
Unblocked
my
Live.
youtube.com/unblocked live.
There you go.
Is my
Check him out, guys. But so he speaks Spanish, and these folks, these three folks, these young
so
people.
that was interesting. I don't know if you guys just caught that, but I just busted out a little Portuguese. I don't know.
I didn't notice, Jeremy. Take a look here. Did you
What's
see
that?
they have a watering station right here?
Oh, there's a watering station?
Yeah, there's those the gator.
Oh,
That's a trip. I was really hoping that.
that's interesting.
If they had spoke Spanish, we'd have had a bit more of a conversation. But you can tell they were looking for a spot on the.
Well, I
beach.
don't think they wanted to have a conversation one way or another. Let's be honest. If they've been traveling for 3 days and they're at the end, you know, they don't want to have a conversation with us, and you know. So, yeah, they were young. They were from Brazil. So my Portuguese is not that good, but basically what I said was, how long are you traveling? I don't even know if that's the right word. I said, quanto tempo está viajando? I don't know if that's even, viajar is travel in Spanish. I don't even know if that's right, but they understood it. And they said 3 days, that they've been traveling for 3 days and they're on the other side of the wall there. So I think what they're going to do is, as I said, this wall just ends a couple miles. They'll come to, we're on County Route 21 right here. When they get to County Route 18, which is, but they also, all these county routes are actually in a half too. So it sounds like, oh, well, that's just 3 county routes. Actually, it's 6. So they have to go 6 more fields that way. And then they're going to come to the end of the wall. And that may or may not be because of funding stopping. There's been talk of that being the reason that funding stops, and then so the wall stops at the end. So what might end up happening is they may get to the about 6 fields down, and then they could just hang a right, and boom, they're in the United States of America, and they'll be cutting through these fields. Now, if Border Patrol comes up on them, Border Patrol told me they know that they told me County Route 18 and 17 are the hotspots. So we're at 21 here. So once they get there, Border Patrol will probably intercept them. When we went up that way, Border Patrol was on us within 2 minutes. They came by. So Border Patrol knows that that's the vulnerable spot. What happens next? They'll probably be picked up and they'll be processed. Border Patrol told us they'll be held for 2 or 3 days. And then if they find out that they don't have any criminal sort of activity, they will send them on their way into the United States. So that was really interesting. So you guys, that was a really interesting part, sort of interaction. I mean, yeah, CJ does not speak Spanish, but you heard him calling up to them saying hello, and they said hello back. And then I called out in Spanish, and they said they're from Brazil. And so then I asked them how long they'd been traveling from, and they said the last 3 days. I mean, obviously not from Brazil, but I would think they've been traveling for the last 3 days through Mexico. But they were going by foot. It was sure was an interesting interaction. I'll say that much. Any questions? What's the first thing you would do if you got across after trailing 3 days? Well, a lot of them go straight to the Border Patrol. Quite frankly, they if they don't have a connection, or they get processed intentionally from the Border Patrol, from what we've learned. But what would I do? There's not much around here to do. I'll be honest. 3 days and you finally get here, man. Suppose if I had $1, I'd get a Frosty at Wendy's, but that Wendy's is way up in. We're south of Yuma, about half hour drive. Go to a convenience store. I guess that would be the first place, if you have a $1 or $2 that you could spend something, is at the Chevron. I don't know, man. What do you do once you get across here? But from what we hear, and let's ask CJ, because CJ will give us a little sort of rundown. The impression that we got is, and I'll tell you what I'll say, and then let's see if CJ converges. The impression that I got was that once they get across, that Border Patrol intercepts them, puts them in the wagon, and then takes them in to be held for 2 days, 3 days, and then sends them on their way. That's what we were told last night. Let's see if CJ confirms that. So CJ, got a question. I just told my audience what I think, but they were saying, well, what happens now that these folks are what's probably going to happen is down the ways. We were down on County Route 18 where the fence just ends.
Yeah.
And you started this live stream.
Yep.
With County Route 18 and where the fence ends. That's probably where they're going. If they know that the fence ends there, all they have to do is traverse. Let's see, we're at 21. That's 18.
Yeah, 3.
It's not just 3 because remember they have half roads, so it's about 6 fields.
6 county roads.
6 county roads, which are these big fields. They're not one county road. Is what is that?
But I would say like that's one there. That's one, you see that line. So I would say
is that a mile?
Quarter mile.
Quarter mile? Oh
yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. So they probably just have a couple miles to go, right? Yeah. They're not too far at all.
I mean, the fence ends right up. Where the lights are basically
where we were
Jeremy
earlier.
Just made a solid point. Yeah. So these folks that we were just talking to, if they know the geography where they're at, they just refilled at this water station here on the other side of the fence.
There's a water station right here, right?
They got 3 coolers. There's a bunch of water bottles on the ground over there. They dumped out their water. They refilled with the orange coolers, and they're just going to make their way down the way here. Probably, I give it no more than 4 or 5, not even 4 miles, maybe. Yeah, because it was about 4 miles, 3.5 miles from where we were at last time to where we're at now, through these county roads. Not even that, no, because if it's, what do we say? 6?
I can look on the.
I would give it about maybe 1.5 miles, 2 miles, actually, based off of the county routes.
Yeah,
these are quarter-mile roads.
They're close. I mean, that's why they really didn't want to talk too much. I mean, I asked them how many days, and they said 3 days that they've been traveling. So, I'm imagining that's through Mexico and stuff. They're from Brazil. I don't speak much Portuguese, so that's how much we figured out. But what my audience asks is, well, what do they do now? Once they cross over, where would you go, kind of thing. And I was speculating, saying, well, there's a Chevron station. If you're lucky and you have $1, you can maybe. Yuma is still a half-hour drive, so it's not like you can pull up and just grab a Frosty first thing. But what do you do once you're in America after traveling for 3 days? But what do you think is going to happen when they walk across there? I told my audience what I think.
I would assume they make a call to somebody on this side that probably is a point of contact. I wouldn't imagine you'd come this far without having somebody in America that's on this side to field you into take you the rest of the way. Much like that car we saw parked on the end of that road the other night. It was last night. It was parked with its parking lights on a desolate road. It was a small van, like the kind of shuttle van we saw. Maybe it was a Border Patrol van, like the one we saw across the border. Or it could have very well been a transport van for people like what we just saw, like these 3 Brazilian and they were young people, guys. These weren't like young children, but they were, early 20s, it looked like, I would imagine. They'll probably make a call and make their way to a waiting vehicle, or, it could be something as simple as a hotel. Find a hotel for the night, catch a bus to where they need to go.
But do you think that what do you think will happen? I mean,
I feel like right now, just based off the Border Patrol came up on us pretty quick, but it's getting dark now, and it wouldn't take much for them to just kind of duck down into one of these fields and make that cross, unless they were just okay with either way. Maybe once they get over, they're okay with Border Patrol picking them up, processing them for a couple of days, then releasing them into the States, which is what they've said. That's what they're doing.
So that's what I told my audience. What you just said in the last 5 to 10 seconds, you're corroborating what the officer told us last night.
Absolutely.
which is if they do pick them. So, as I mentioned just a second ago, whenever we have come down one of these county roads, the Border Patrol has been really on us within 3 or 4 minutes. So I can't see that they would get to that breach without Border Patrol actually.
If they keep walking on the road the way they are, because the Border Patrol, when we first got here, they went to the edge of the fence, they crossed over, and they drove down the other side. And that just could be that they go maybe side to side from this part of the fence to that, and they just dogleg it and wrap around because they know that people are going to be doing exactly that. I wonder if, honestly, this could also be a setup. Like they put these stations up maybe because they know it'll draw people.
Oh,
It could be that. And then they're like, oh,
they could have a sensor. They could have a sensor on the water station.
yeah, they
and
have
then
ground sensors, they said, or
yeah,
cameras on the fence.
they have ground sensors. We listened to a podcast with a guy from Homeland Security. He was talking about, or what do you call it, ICE, or I can't keep all the institutions that there are sensors and so forth. So that they have a water station right there, they could have sensors on the wall also, in which they're viewing people at the water station there.
Well, there's a big tower right over there, and I'm sure that's got cameras on it. Right
yeah, there's a big tower there. So I'm
right here, actually.
Look at that tower. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a huge tower right there.
there's cameras all over that.
There's cameras all over, huh?
Yeah, and well, if that's the cameras, it's hard to tell what those are up top.
I think those are.
Could be cameras.
This could. So I think what probably happens. I mean, that's an interesting point. You have a water station here. If you have cameras focused on it, you know someone's there.
Right.
That they're going to go down to the end of the wall, and that they're going to be there in the next within the hour. So that's an interesting.
I mean, that's drive down to that end and see if they show up.
Yeah.
Not that I want to put them on blast, but
yeah, I was thinking about that. I mean, we could drive down there and we could just kind of wait and see, and we don't have to get out of the car, But I don't know. I mean, this is antenna of some sort. There's got to be cameras up there. Yeah, there's like all kinds of electronic equipment on these towers here. So it's so funny. I mean, nobody's rolled up on us in the last hour, but that's a pretty, I think, accurate sort of chronology of what probably happens to a group of 3 people like that who are coming up on the United States. So go interview them. I mean, why not? Yeah. So hey, do you want to roll up there and just kind of wait and see what happens?
Yeah, let's head one direction together. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, this is a story, It's a story. I don't think we're gonna,
I would like to see if somebody makes it into completion over to the States.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
I read an article today about Kamala Harris and Biden government. They talked of giving $4 billion to Latin America. Arthur Wade says, drive down there so we can get answers. He's
Drive down.
He's demanding answers.
Everybody wants answers.
I want to know what's happening. And you will give me
I got to brush up my Portuguese in 10 minutes.
Well, we can always pull out a Google Translator.
Yeah.
Is it a crime to harbor an illegal alien?
Well, probably. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, I'm not going to. That's the thing is in these situations, you never put yourself in a situation where you're part of the story. You could walk along, but certainly the old Prius stays out of the story.
Somebody mentioned something just now that we heard last night in that interview with the retired Border Patrol agent, that a lot of these coyotes and organizations, they advertise on Facebook and social media.
Yeah, we did hear that social media.
Now there are some people in the border in the middle looking for lots of clothing. That's what Oscar does. Yeah,
so I'm getting
actually, I found on the top of the fence at that gate there was a shirt stuck up in the razor wire, Jeremy. So, yeah,
so I do that because I have a second camera to get clearer video that's off of the live stream, and then I can take that video and that B-roll and kind of market it or whatever. Well, no, I don't really market my video, but I would sell just normal B-roll. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Just a thought. But anyway, we'll jump in the. Why isn't? Oh my God, what's going on? I'm like, why isn't the car opening? Usually it just opens. Oh. All right. I'm gonna put this on a tripod. Drive down.
I was gonna ask it: is the coyotes are the people that are trafficking these people across the border?
Do you remember which one was the paved road? Was it?
What's up, Peaky? Good to see you, man.
Where was the road with the breach in the wall? Was that?
That was 17.
So it's 17.
It was 16. You take 16 all the way down to the Kokopo Indian Reservation.
Was it 16?
I want to say 16. We're on 21 and a half now, right? 21.
Let's see. Shoot. Sorry, guys. I'm afraid I'll end this stream if I look at.
I can hold the stream, bro. I know what I'm doing here. Twice. I've held 2 streams in my day. Wait,
I know.
Wait.
I know what I'll do. I'll connect.
I got a call coming in.
Or can you look on your phone? Like you have 2 phones, right?
I do.
So if you can look on your other phone and figure out where.
Decent, Marie, let's not talk about the rapes that are going on in the coyotes because we do know that that's a factor. I mean, the sexual assault that is happening is there's no way to
headlights would be good.
You know, it's happening, and we're just not talking about with grown individuals. We're talking this is happening with children as well. I mean, there's depraved assholes no matter where you go in the world. I mean, the situation where there's no law. I mean, when chaos rules, chaos will rule. And in this situation, the criminals are the ones that are making the laws, and in that they can elicit whatever kind of chaos they want. Yeah, you've been by animals, coyotes. We're talking about the traffickers right now.
So can you look on your other phone?
Yeah, what are you looking for?
Where the wall ends? Remember that place where it comes close? So if you can look on your phone.
For where the wall ends.
Yeah, remember where where we came to the end of the wall? Well, remember when I said, right, but we want to know absolutely 100%. So if you can look on your phone, you can tell where it gets really close, where the Indian reservation was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we can find that out, I'll bet you they come down that street because it was paved too, right?
Yeah.
I think.
One second, guys. I'm trying to find. Here, I'll show you what I'm looking at as well. So I'm trying to find the end of the fence line here, or the wall. Sorry, Coca-Cola Social Services. All right, is this? Okay, here's what do we got? This is like the wall is gapped on either side. See that?
Is that where it was?
No, because there's a wall here, but.
It's where if you look at the border, don't look at the wall.
Opening right there. And then I'm trying to find what route it is that can. There's 11. Oh, wait, all the way to 11. I want to say 16. 10. I'm going to go up to 16. So I think that's it. Anyone in here? Jay Bright. Hey, that's all right. Let's celebrate the month, right? Just to be clear, I'll hold anybody's stream anytime. I'm out here repping for all streamers. I think it's important what we do. I think everyone needs to have access to the information that you get from a live stream. So, 17. All right. I don't know if that's the illusion of the wall, or if that's just where the border goes.
So if you look on Apple Maps, I'll be able to tell you exactly where it is. I don't need all that fancy. Or do you have Apple or are you Android?
I'm on Android on Maps right now.
So if you look at the border itself, it goes, and then it was like a little nub.
Like this right here. Oh shit.
I just can't tell because there's so much other visual information coming at me. I just need to see the border. Like just the border. Like
this is the border right here.
Right.
That's the Mexican-United States border right there.
So it's where it went.
Oh, that must be, okay, this is where
the Indian reservation
the wall isn't. So here's where the wall ends right here.
Right there?
It must be, right? Because the border is right here.
No, you're down there. So go to County Route. Go to
where
County Route 17 or whatever.
So that's.
So you can't get on Apple Maps on that, huh?
So we're heading. No.
Can you make your phone into a hotspot?
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at this. Because if I look on Apple Maps, I'll be able to tell me instantly which street I need to go on. So let's just give this iPhone.
Okay.
We're going through major technology changes.
Technology,
yeah.
guys.
Challenge.
Okay, here we go. Veronica told us it's 16th Street and.
That's where we were before?
Yeah, Veronica, because her sister lives right here. So I can pull that up right here. 16th Street and
In Sality, I mean.
Levy is the name of the street that we rode in. Oh, Sandra, we're down here. Well, someone explain real quick to Sandra.
What? Bug?
Try to email. 16th Street.
And now I need to take this
What did you take it?
because I want to get out. Well, there's no cars.
Okay. 16th Street, Hidalgo. Texas. Is it 16th Levy? It's 16th and 70. County 16th Street. Is it Somerton?
Yes, near there. Somerton. So this is County 20 and a half.
16th Street and what? Yeah, we're trying to figure that out right now, guys.
If it was 17th or 16th, but if you just go on a map,
I'm on a map, dude. The issue that we're having is not that. It's just we're driving. The Colorado River is to our left. The border runs up Highway 2, looks like. And actually, based on where we are right now, I think it's fence and we're good already.
remember we went,
It's 28.
20 what?
Look like 28, but we're pretty much on 19.
Like
19 and a half. Yeah, man, people, man, they better not try to carjack the Prius. Alright, County 16th Street. So, wasn't it like right here where the road dog leg, and then that's where the fence
Yes.
is, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's right. If we go up to 18,
18.
yeah, take it to 18 because that's where we can kind of go from right here. See how the road kicks over,
Yeah.
and then we can take that little.
So it's 18?
I would say 18 takes us down to the canal,
Okay.
West Main Canal Road.
Can you run the GPS in it?
Yeah, there's a fence edge right there.
Right. That's where we want to go.
That's where we're
Can you run the GPS?
Yep.
Nice.
So keep going on this now.
So we have another intersection.
If we go straight, keep going.
Oh, this is 19 here.
Yeah, we want to go all the way to the 3rd Avenue.
This is all gripping live stream action here. Two dudes trying to figure out their phones.
This is all part of it though, man. The stream knows what's going on. We're trying to figure out exactly where we found it, where we're trying to head, which is out to the break and the fence. Where the fence ends.
Someone says if you run into a coyote, ask them if they prefer Apple or Android.
Yeah, right. What's your preferred method of traffic?
Yeah. Apple or Android.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Shoe fly. Get the gun out of my face.
So now we're trying to get flies out of the Prius. Okay, when's my last couple?
You are about a quarter mile.
Okay.
Yeah, Mima, if they're drug runners, I'm sure that the people picking them up would not be happy that we're there. Actually, you should take this up further because...
I mean, it seemed like there were just three young Brazilian kids, and they were willing to speak to us.
Yeah, keep going. We're going to take this up further because I don't want to get stuck. Try to drive on the canal road.
18?
We'll take up to 18, yeah.
Right. 18 goes straight there, right?
Yeah.
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 This one? No. Next one?
I hope you get to see the real stories. So, to be clear, someone said, go to places where people...
Wait, are we missing 18?
Nope, you're still good. Yep. No, you keep going.
All right.
Right when we get kind of the apex of this bend, we're going to take a left. So, keep going. And it's about 200 yards right there in the street center.
Really?
Yep.
This is it?
Yep, that's it.
I cannot see where the street is.
Blind faith, bro. you gotta crack them high beams. It's right there next to me.
Okay.
Just straight up out into the dark.
Well, I just don't want to end up in the canal.
There you go. You're good.
Okay.
Alright, cool. Found it.
Alright. We found the road. So we're on a dirt road. I could not see. Oh, yeah, and there's the fire. Look, you can see it. There's
oh,
the
damn,
fire.
that's a huge fire. Look at that. You can see
Yeah.
the flames from here.
Look, that's Border Patrol just
Border
waiting
Patrol
for them. Just waiting for them.
Yeah, kick it into high gear, bro. Let's go. Maybe they're there. I don't know what that fire is, but it's huge.
Yeah. Border Patrol.
Should look up right now, like
Border Patrol's just wait.
the Kokopo,
So
POH Indian Reservation.
where the fence ends.
Up there. But you can see the flame.
It's probably a controlled burn.
The light of the fire, you can see all the way back here. You see the.
But you can see. Look, Border Patrol just posted up.
Yeah. Maybe they already grabbed them.
See, it says dead end here. Does it say no trespassing?
No, it says End County Road.
Oh, that's right. We were here.
End County Maintenance.
Yeah, my phone's gonna go out. Let's see.
Oh yeah, my reception just died.
Your reception died?
Yeah.
You lost your stream?
No, it's just my. I don't know if you guys can still hear me, but my frame rate dropped off.
Oh, I wonder if they're gonna think we're some kind of. So Border Patrol is just out there waiting.
Yeah, Veronica, thank you for checking. Massive fire in the Globe. Rebecca, where is Globe? I don't know what Globe is. Could be burning fields, but I mean. Keep going, bro.
Interesting to see if this is how far we went last time.
Yeah, but I mean, if we, like I said, in for a penny, in for a pound type thing.
No, but but that makes no sense.
If you're gonna be this far, you might as well go all the way. I mean.
Right, but there's a reason to not insert yourself into the action. You know what I mean? Like if you want to walk up to it, but I don't want to put my car in between their path and the border path. You know what I mean?
But we don't know that they know that there is a path to get in between.
Well, we don't even know. We don't even know they're coming this way.
Yahtzee! All right.
You said Yahtzee, just so everybody knows.
What do you think I did?
I don't know.
What does it sound like? Now you make me second guess what I'm saying, bro.
All good. All right, so he's gonna go check it out. You need to establish like a non-verbal signal with the Border Patrol, just something to let them know that you're friendly. They could tell. They've been watching us for the last. They've been watching us for the last 24 hours, so they know that we're not. They know they've seen my Prius. I don't think they think we're anything other than just two journalists running around because they've. But the point that I was trying to make to CJ, he was like, drive all the way up. Well, no, look, I'm making him walk up if he wants to get into it. There you have the end of the wall here. I don't know if you could see anymore. But that's the end of the wall. CJ's walking there. You see a controlled burn in the background, and then you see Border Patrol posted up on the levee there. The point I made is no, I don't drive into Border Patrol's path. I post up far enough away where he can walk over there, but I don't insert myself into the action. So that was my call on that. And he was like, penny, pound, something, like, might as well go all the way. But no, you just don't, in my opinion. You hang back. So CJ's walking up all the way there, and I'm just kind of hanging back here charging my phone now. Any other questions? Certain light, color scheme, something. Oh, I see what you're saying. What was your location when you spotted them? So that was, we were on County Route we're on the border, near just south of Yuma, what's called County Route 20. County Route 21, and Sality, Sality Canal, right by the border. And if you guys are looking on like Apple Maps or something like that, and you see County Route 21 and Sality Canal winds alongside the border fence. Now we are at 18, County Route 18, and each of these county routes is separated by 2 fields because they have a half. Like you have County Route 19 and a half, County Route, and each of these county routes is separated by a huge half-mile field or quarter-mile or something like that. So we got a second border patrol pulling up now on the ridge there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you? But there's headlights in the distance there of the second border patrol. I'm going to turn my light off. Maybe that'll help. So there's 2 border patrol there. CJ's in the middle. I can see him on the ridge. And you have the end of the fence there. So my thing to CJ was hang back because you've inserted yourself into the path of the migrants and the border patrol. So it in my opinion, it upsets the story. But now one border patrol, now they're going over to talk to CJ. Let's go see what's going on. Hop out.
So you can see the border patrollers, like CJ put himself over there, and now they're going to talk to him. And he's live streaming. So if you guys want to check out CJTV Media on YouTube, like you can leave my stream and check out his stream and see his angle. Or if you're like huge fans, you can get like both camera perspective. You can get CJ on CJTV Media on YouTube, and you could see his point of view. But he's over there by the end of the canal where those 2 border patrol trucks are, and I'm hanging back because I mean, what we know is that this is the hot spot, and we know that there's migrants about 2 miles down that way walking towards this way. So the question then becomes, do we hang back and are we able to capture and see what happens? So my problem is that my phone's running out. We're losing light, and my phone's running out of battery. But actually, I have a spare battery. Okay, someone says that's interesting because that's the Tim Pool versus Andy No perspective. Observe or insert yourself. And my thing is pull back and observe, but don't. Did you chat with him at all? Now that it's night, it's really hard to get an idea. I just realized I have a charger, an extra battery in the car, so I'm gonna just grab it. But yeah, no, the Andy No thing, to totally switch gears. The thing about that is that, in my opinion, you should avoid being a participant always in the action as much as you can. And, because then once you become a part of the action, you're, the story itself becomes corrupted in a sense, because then you're, all right, we got border patrol coming this way. So,
while we were not recording, these guys are coming in.
Yeah, they're coming in hot. So we got where's it? Oh, you just went right by us. They didn't even say hi. You know what? They know who we are. You know what I mean? They know what car we're driving. They know they've seen us.
Yeah.
They know who we are. They didn't even Border Patrol didn't even stop to talk to us.
No. They just drove right by. They put their high beams on us for a second. But
Yeah.
they just cruised by. And it's funny because they act like we're not here. A couple, like, so far, for the most part, it's been pretty common.
Oh, well, I lost my stream for a second. Yeah, they're not really, they can't be bothered by us, right?
Yeah.
Did you see anything, or?
They are still under a gag order. No.
You didn't see anything?
That fire is huge, though. You can see the actual flames underneath the smoke up there. Dara saying, watch for drones.
So, I mean,
John.
so imagine if they're posted up here at 17, then they'll be taken in immediately. The question, or so they're at 18.
Or they already have been taken in.
Or they've already been taken in.
Yeah, this is at County 18. Yeah.
This is County 18. What we could do is go to County 17. Remember, he told us 17 was actually the hot spot. So the question then becomes, do they know to go past this one? You know what I'm saying?
So this is where those 3 Brazilians should come through. Jordan Burns, yeah. I mean, if I were them, as opposed to scaling the fence, literally all you have to do is walk up to the edge of the fence here and then just step around it. Here,
Yeah.
I'll show you guys. I think I took a picture of it.
It's earlier in the same feed, right?
Yeah, it is. If you guys go back to the beginning of this feed.
In the feed, it's earlier. We basically, it's the canal's there, but you could just walk right around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. You can walk right around it.
Yeah. So, I did that with my the GoPro. So yeah, you can walk right up to the edge of the fence and literally just step around it. So.
Yeah, I think I have a picture of it in here too.
So.
Oh yeah, look, so this is what we're close to. Let's see, I can't.
Show you guys what I'm talking about here.
So this is the.
Yeah. So if you look at the fence walks up, so it doglegs right there to the right, and as you look at it, that's where it basically ends right there.
And I think let's see.
You have another picture of the rest of it.
Let's see.
No, you did that the only one you got.
Oh, there's water, but it. Oh, that's two.
It's a good screen grab.
It is a screen grab. I got some good shots, but okay, that's the canal right there, right?
Mhm.
So they need to.
There you go. That's the edge of the fence right
That's
there.
the edge of the fence. That's you.
Let's go back and pause it real fast.
Here.
Boop. There you go. So if they walk up to the fence as you're looking at it right there, they can walk right around that edge of that control box right there, and then they'll be in America. That's all that takes.
But the problem
they're walking on the road where that fence right there opens up. They're walking down that road towards this.
But the problem is the Border Patrol is posted up right there.
Yeah,
I'm sure they just have someone there all night.
But you know how easy it would be to just stay on that side and walk around them and then just pop up over here? I mean, they don't have to walk in front of the car. It'd be easy to stay on that
like
side.
Go deep into the reservation?
Yeah, just...
But remember the guy told us County Route, we're on County Route 18, but the guy told us County Route 17 was the hot spot. So it must be that if they know that Border Patrol is posted up here, they must know to go 2 more football fields, or we call it, crop fields past it to 17, and then try to get through that way. That's what you would probably do, because that guy's just posted up there. He ain't going anywhere, you know?
Yeah, so this is Trump's fence, to be clear, right? Someone's asking, is this Obama's fence or Trump's fence?
This is Trump's
fence. This is Trump's wall.
This is Trump's
wall. This is an 18-foot wall.
This is the fence wall.
Yeah.
The fence wall, yeah.
And it is roughly 15 to 18 feet.
Jordan says that it's been 40 minutes since we spotted them. I imagine it would take 40 minutes to get this far, right?
Yeah,
for sure. So, I mean, we could hang around here, but it's your call, CJ.
Well, we got about an hour till they close the other border. Maybe we could grab some interviews with people crossing the border legally down in San Luis.
Oh, I see what you're saying. We could try that.
Because it's too dark to see anything out here now.
Too dark to see anything, and them posted up there, they're either going to do one of two things: avoid them or go all the way around.
Yeah, we're not going to see them interact, I don't think, with them tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we'd be waiting for quite a long time. Yeah, because. Well, I'm going to end my stream because I've been on for an hour and so I'm going to end mine. But if you guys want to keep up with the stream, go to CJ's channel. That's here on YouTube, right? CJ TV Media on YouTube.
Yeah.
So
on Facebook as well.
He's going to keep streaming. I'm going to cut my feed. And for your feed, I'm Unblocked Live, youtube.com/Unblocked Live. I'm Jeremy Lee Quinn, at JLeeQuinn on Twitter. And your Twitter is CJ Halliburton, right?
Yeah, at CJ Halliburton.
At CJ Halliburton, I think so.
Yeah.
So I'm cutting this one.
You can go to twitch.tv/CJTV Media.
Okay. So hop on CJ's feed for the continuation of this youtube.com/CJTV Media.
There we go.
And
see, they just crossed into the border. See that? They opened the gate and went in.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys probably can't see it much, but they just drove into Mexico on the border road.
Well, I don't think they drove into Mexico.
Well, they drove through the gate.
The gate, but the gate. See, because the actual border is probably a little further down from the gate.
It is.
But you can see they're driving towards the path of the migrants now.
Mm-hmm.
It would be interesting to see what happens when they catch them on that side, or intercept them on that side of the wall.
Well, if, like you said, the border is further back and this wall is in America, so if they're already across the border, because the wall isn't built on the border exactly, it's this side of the border. So that side of the wall is actually still America as well.
Right.
So by the time they get to the wall,
it would be interesting
they've already crossed the border.
To see on Google Maps GPS exactly where the border is and where the wall is on Google Maps. All right, I'm going to end my feed. You could see the maybe you could see the in the distance.
My frame rates are jumping around. Maybe you're using all my bandwidth.
Yeah, but head over to CJTV for the continuation. Get the night visions. All right, you guys.
You got the NVGs?
Yeah. They don't have time for us. They said Border Patrol doesn't have time for us. Yeah. Okay. I'll catch you on CJ's feed, you guys.